Alrighty, hi everyone, my name is Laura and here on my channel we talk about rainbow zebras. No, we don't. We talk about mental health, minimalism, lifestyle stuff, and my little family's journey of trying to have a baby. And today we're talking about a slightly random mental health topic. And I'm going to be multitasking while I'm doing this. That's why we are in the kitchen. Mr. Zebra lives on the opposite side of the kitchen. Kitchen is here. And we're going to be making breakfast burritos while talking about how ADHD doesn't allow you to rest in the same way that other people do. And I'm also sick while I'm recording this, which is why it's so relevant, because trying to rest when you are sick is a very important thing and is something that I find very difficult to do. Is it slightly hypocritical that hypocritical? I'm also so good at talking today. It is slightly hypocritical that I am recording this whilst doing things, but I mean, like, you have to make food, right? So I am allowing myself off the hook for this one while we talk about how I actually want to be doing 700 things right now, even though I actually need to be resting, and it's all very complicated. But anyway, okay, I'm going to get started on the food and then I'm going to carry on chatting. Give me a sec. Step 1, get yourself a ridiculously heavy cast iron pot. First ingredient you need for refried beans, and I had never made refried beans up until like 3 weeks ago, and then one of my really good friends, Becca Loveless, who I will link her channel down below. She is a super awesome homemaker. She was here in New Zealand for a while and is now in Canada, and I love her so much and I miss her more than I can put into words right now. Anyway, we're trying to be fun today, Laura, come on. You need an onion. We have an onion. The onion is in the pot and is just starting to cook, so we're gonna have some nice like background ASMR as that cooks away, although I might need to turn it down for a sec. Hold on. Okay, that's good. Hopefully that's a nice little background noise. So what prompted me to do this video today was looking at something that I still really struggle with, which is when I need to be taking time to relax and chill, I still really struggle to do that. And so being sick today, having a bit of a fever, my husband does too, like it be like that sometimes. I still feel like I want to be doing all of the things, and this is something that I've worked on for a while. Being a anxious person, let me turn this down. Being an anxious person, I always kind of felt like I should be doing something all the time, and if I wasn't, then I was doing something wrong. And so growing up in an environment that really fostered that kind of idea of like, if you're not doing something, then you should be doing something, and always having this kind of internal monologue and internal drive that kept me scared of just sitting and doing nothing or relaxing or just doing things for fun, all of that. That then meant that when I'm sick and I then am trying to do something that feels so foreign, to just not do things, and that was the good thing to be doing, that felt really scary and unsafe. And so I worked on that consciously for a while, and somewhat unconsciously, to really try and build that feeling of safety around relaxing and taking time and all of that. And that was beneficial, but there was still this kind of weirdness that was going on that didn't really allow me to be content with relaxing. Like, I could do the conscious piece around why I need to relax, why I need to rest up, why it is morally neutral to be relaxing and doing nothing, all of that, right? I got past that, but it still just didn't quite sit right. And this is the piece that's kind of fallen into place now that I've really allowed myself to explore the world of neurodivergency and ADHD specifically. I'm gonna add a bit of salt for my little salt pig. This little container, my husband keeps asking if we can throw it out. It's like a tiny little carry case for your garlic. And I got this with New Zealand garlic in it probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and now I just keep refilling it with the garlic I buy from the store. This is my super random little garlic carry case that I keep my garlic in, and I love it. So let's get it going. Sorry, I'm gonna be over here for a sec while I do the garlic. It's good sounds though. Yeah, so that's what kind of brought me back to this idea of ADHD and how that was affecting me. And what I kind of realized with this whole like lack of dopamine in your brain thing was how much that really translated across to what I was feeling. So what I would feel and what I was literally feeling this morning was like, I have this time to like feel better. And when I think about feeling better, I'm like, I want to get projects done around the house because, like, you know, it's a great idea to do physically strenuous work when you're sick. Not. Or I wanted to like make peanut butter cookies and then I could give some to people. And I'm like, yeah, Laura, because people really want cookies that were made by a sick person. And I'm like, okay, well that's obviously not a good idea. And then I was like, oh, now that we're in autumn, I'd thought about like grabbing a little basket and walking around the neighborhood and like collecting the fruit that's on like that's like hanging over from people's like sides of their fences. Then I'm like, cool, some more physically strenuous stuff to be doing outside while you're sick and meant to be recovering. Kind of in this moment where I'm like, why does my brain do this? Why does it do this? Where I'm like, okay, I just need to feel better and relax. And I'm like, wait, it's that feel better thing. It's the feel better part. And that's where it gets stuck. And so the way that I see it in my own personal experience of this is that because my brain is naturally low on dopamine, when I think about like feeling better, I immediately want to do activities that I know or think will give my brain dopamine, and that will make me feel better, quote unquote, right? So maybe there's a little bit of an issue with the framing there, and that actually could be an interesting piece if I just think about that for a sec. Is that if the framing is like, okay, we need to relax to feel better, I think that for people who are more neurotypical, just chilling out and trying to physically feel more relaxed, like physically chilling out and physically trying to feel more relaxed is probably then going to make you feel better when you are like feeling sick. For me though, when I think about the feeling better thing, I'm like, oh, I want to mentally feel better and then I can relax. So I feel like I need to be doing things that have a sense of novelty, like going and picking fruit because it's now the season for that, you know, that's something I haven't been able to do for a bit. Or finishing house renovation stuff because I see that every day that it needs to be done. I feel annoyed by that. I feel like I'm failing because it's not done yet a little bit, and so I feel like I can tick that off, get the dopamine from that. And this has been such an interesting realization for me, is that me trying to feel better when I'm sick is probably asking the wrong question. And so now where I'm at is like, well, how do I deal with that? How do I try to deal with that in a more productive way for A, feeling good in my brain and in myself and my psyche, but also like physically trying to get better whilst sick. So yeah, let's finish making the refried beans so we can get the burritos done, and then we'll talk about that for a little bit. I went to grab some coriander or cilantro from my garden to add in, and I realized that I have an absolute metric butt ton of spinach. These are individual spinach leaves. Ooh! So I'm gonna add that in as well, because this is my trick, is just to like fold it. Hold on. You fold it and then you slice it like this, kind of like it's bread, and that's how you get it into like thin bits that you can then chuck in. I know that this is uneven, but anyway, yeah, the spinach is there. I planted it so that I could just add greens into my food. So this is me just adding greens into my food, and because it's spinach, it cooks down super fast. So straight from the garden, I kind of visually check there's no dirt or bugs or anything, and then yeah, we'll just chuck that straight in. Alrighty, so that's what it looks like now. We give it a bit of a stir, let it cook down for a couple more minutes, and then we'll get out the stick blender to blend it all up, and that is good to go. We're also quite lucky that avocados are in season, cheap and good quality. So of course we're making something reminiscent of guac. I don't know. I don't really work to a proper recipe. I just kind of use what I have, but it turns out good anyway. So anyway, as I'm making this, I may as well carry on kind of chatting to you guys. So what I've kind of done over the last wee while is I've realized that maybe it's not just the anxiety that means that I struggle to relax, but it's other things as well, is firstly just being conscious of it. Like I said this in my most recent video about, you know, self-diagnosing with ADHD while I'm on a wait list to be officially diagnosed. One of the best things is now being aware of like why I have certain issues and why things may be difficult for me, like just relaxing, because my brain is constantly seeking to try and find new and fun things to do. And maybe that's why I'm here recording this for you guys now, is because it then allows me to feel like I'm doing something fun and interesting and like I'm achieving something. And so yeah, be aware of the fact that some things will come up for you. Be aware of what you do and do not want to do in response to that. Like I did not want to be out like foraging for olives down the streets today. I knew that that was not going to support me physically resting and physically getting better. So I knew that that was not going to be okay. Whereas something like making myself a nice lunch that takes a bit of time but isn't going to be super strenuous, that's a good way to go. Quietly and kind of slowly tidying up the house so that I feel like I'm in a nicer space without going full on like renovation or decluttering or anything else that's going to take too much out of me. That's a really good thing to kind of boost my dopamine, allow me to feel like I've achieved something and like I'm in a nice space. And it's going to help, you know, future Laura, because things will have been done. That's also quite good. Sometimes I don't find those things as interesting, like putting away laundry. I really don't find that interesting. But I know that I can look at it in the end and say like, hey, this was a helpful thing. You did something, but I'm not going to overexert myself. We got given these like super funky limes by one of my husband's students. I have no idea like if you're meant to use these in guac, but I'm like, they're limes, they'll be fine. You can see I've already used part of one of these. They are like not quite as juicy as I would have hoped for, so they do take a bit of squeezing, but seems to work okay. And then I also have this lemon from our tree that fell off in a storm and it's actually ripened up, so I'm going to use a bit of that as well. So we're going to do some lemon, some lime, you know, we're just kind of trying to be fun with it. This is the novelty that I was talking about. This is the novelty that the ADHD brain seeks, right? Like I can't just do something simply. I've got to have fun with it, which like that's not inherently bad. It just takes a bit more time and energy to do it. But for my brain, it's worthwhile. So there you go. This would be something that back in the day when I was still really struggling with the anxiety, I would have told myself like, oh, what are you doing? You're not meant to have lemon and lime, like that's weird, that's wasteful, da da da. Like I know I'm going to use up the rest of this, it's fine. And also if this is a thing that I need to have fun today in a way that is like sustainable and means I'm still resting but I'm having fun because I'm having lemon and lime, like do the thing, you know, just do the thing. Okay, I've had one burrito and I'm feeling a lot better. I might have another one soon and then I might actually go for a nap just because this is how it is, right? Like I actually have to do something to get the dopamine to then feel, I want to say restful, like I was restless, now I'm feeling restful, to feel restful enough to then actually relax. So I suppose that that's sort of the kicker in all this, is that for me, dealing with my mixture of anxiety and ADHD when I do need to relax, is that it is a process. It's not something that I can just flick a switch on and go, okay, great, now relax. I actually have to put a bit of work into it, which is frustrating, but now that I know that about myself,
so much more helpful. So for me, the work is going, what can I do that's going to help me to feel better physically, whether that's like doing a bit of a cleanup, putting some stuff in the rubbish, putting laundry away, making myself some nice food. The thing to make myself feel physically better, that's then also going to give me a bit of dopamine so that my brain can go, yeah, we did something, that's awesome. And then the result of that is now that soon after lunchtime, I feel like I can basically relax for the rest of the day. I will still take him for a walk later if I'm feeling up to it, which I think I will be, and chuck something together quickly for dinner. But this is kind of the process that I know I need to go through, and this for me feels so much better than either trying to be super productive to make myself feel better but I'm not actually resting, which we don't want to be doing that, or fighting myself all day trying to force myself to relax and rest when I'm feeling restless. This is a much better way to go about it for me. And so if you also deal with anxiety, ADHD, or something in that similar vein where you struggle to relax, maybe this is something that would be helpful for you. So thank you guys so much for joining me while we made refried beans and then a little breakfast burrito for lunch. I totally have food in my teeth, oh my goodness. Ignore that. And yeah, please look out for my next video, which shouldn't be too long because I already had a video planned and then just decided to do this one here. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you did like this, please do comment what you liked, and please do subscribe. It does really help me to know if this is stuff that you guys are interested in. So take care, good luck out there, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.